government has to fix. If you're in a deficit, okay, you can only increase or decrease taxes, and you can only increase or decrease spending. This is not rocket science. There's just very tough decisions to make. They aren't recognizing opportunity cost and scarcity, and they're not making those decisions. So for the majority of the people who are alive, the most of the generations alive, we've only been in a deficit year after year after year. We've had 1 year in 2000 of a surplus since 1969. That 1 year, so that means when Bush took office, Bush took office, the debt clock had stopped. But are we out of debt because we fixed 1 year's budget? We had 1 year of a balanced budget? No, because all those years of deficits become our national debt. So the national debt is the accumulation of every deficit that we don't pay off year after year after year. So our current national debt is 15.6 trillion and counting. And a very cool, a little bit overwhelming website, because it literally is to the second how it changes, is the usdebtclock.org. So I actually want to show you this. So it might be a little overwhelming to you.
Don't do it.
Does someone want to shut the door so that we can
not
get like glare and the lights?
No, we don't.
Hey, Berg.
Yeah.
Does Hatfield still have my tripod?
It's enough.
Yes, she should if you haven't picked it up.
It's enough reality for one day.
Shush.
Perfect.
Oh, great.
So what you're going to see is on the left-hand side, you'll see the debt, and on the right-hand side, you'll see our income.
Oh, shit.
Language,
If anyone is
Jew.
right to curse in this room, it's the
I'm
cripple.
sorry. It's just.
I'm glad it upsets you. So,
Ricky left though, right?
you see where I get 15.6 trillion? 15 trillion, 665 billion, 600 and last period it was 664 million. So that just tells you in about a half hour how much debt we're racking up.
Dear Jesus.
So if you see right below so here's the national debt.
Okay, so I am
This is
pointing at
per
that.
citizen. So over here you see U.S. population, 313 million people. If you divide this number into that number, each citizen, that means every child that is born right now this minute, okay, every single person, working or not, that's how much they owe. This is how much every person who pays taxes owe. So you can see we have 313 million people, only 113 million taxpayers. If you look at the size of our labor force, is 141 million people of a population of 313 million.
Where's her mouse?
So it's basically one half of the country is providing for everybody else and paying taxes. So it's only, it's less than half of the country is expected to pay for and support the entire rest of the country. Here you can see how many people are officially unemployed. Does everyone who's unemployed file for unemployment?
No.
No. So why we say officially is because there are always more people unemployed than are official, because this is just how many people collect benefits from the government. So you can see the federal budget deficit currently and how it's adding. This is how much the government is currently spending at the moment. Here's the government's total revenue, tax revenue. This is from your income revenue. This is how much you've paid so far. I'm sure it will be going up even more as they start processing all the taxes.
There's too many numbers blinking around.
It is a lot. That's why I said it's overwhelming. But they break it down by all this, average state, average local. Here you can see the expenses. Here's Medicare, Medicaid. Here's Social Security. Here's defense, income security. Okay, interest on the debt, federal pensions, part of that other category. Here's our GDP, right? What does GDP measure again?
Our gross domestic product.
Well, that's what it stands for. What does it measure?
How much we make.
How, well, 2/3 of GDP is consumption, but what does it measure?
The market value of all final goods and services made within the borders of the U.S. in a year.
Yes, but short, it means this is how productive you are as a nation.
Yeah.
Right? It measures productivity. U.S. is number one because we are the most productive according to GDP. If you compare our GDP to other countries, we are the highest, hence we are the number one. This is what makes us number one.
Is it going up? Yeah.
GDP is currently growing. It's been growing for the last year. It has its dips and moments by quarter, but This is how we know we're slowly on our way to economic recovery. Is
Yeah, but look at our
this
debt.
number. Yes. But this was my point is you have to keep into perspective. This right here is short term. This is the long-term effects of not dealing with all of these deficits. This is year after year of overspending, debt racking up. At some point, that was the point of IOUSA in the solutions video, is to show you at some point we cannot sustain these deficits and our debt problem. The idea is as long as you grow as a country and your debts are less than your GDP, you can sustain your way of life. But the moment that your debt, and look at this, our debt is worth more than our GDP. That means you are truly unhealthy as a country. Is it the sky is falling right now? No. If we allow the behaviors that we've allowed for the last 50 years to continue for the next 50 years, this gap will only widen and it will break. It's what caused Rome to fall. One of the key reasons Rome fell was this exact reason. They expanded too far too quickly, they got arrogant, and they mismanaged their finances, and the empire fell. And it took a lot longer to build Rome than it has taken to build the United States. We are such a baby compared to world history. If we do not do something about this problem now, this debt problem, personally as a citizen, there is nothing more important to me than this problem, because I don't think about the here and now. It's one of the biggest problems with our society on all fronts. Doesn't matter which sector you belong to. We only live in the here and the now. How much can I pay this month? How much can I get away with right now? I'll worry about the future later. When if you worry about it later, it's going to be too late to do anything to fix it, to reverse the effects.
What do you mean deal with it personally? Like with this whole debt thing, you said that you could deal with it personally.
Well, I mean, we are a collective, meaning what I do personally, because I am one of those households, that my personal behavior, look at this number, personal debt right here. This is the total number of personal debt by all citizens in the household. So this means in the household, this is credit, this is student loan, these are any kind of debt you have. This is how much money we have racked up that we can't afford to pay for, that we've thrown either on some form of credit, whether it's a loan, a credit card, anything. Look at mortgage debt, student loan. It breaks it down. Total personal debt, mortgage debt, student loan. This is all consumers living outside of their means. Now, there's good debt and bad debt. Most people would say buying a home is good debt because it's an investment, right? Real estate is an investment. But did I buy a home that I could actually afford, or did I buy the 5-bedroom, 3.5 bath, like
5-bedroom, 3.
You know, did I buy something that is actually within my means, or did I buy what I think is the American dream? If all of us take care of our individual lives, okay, and manage ourselves, we're in a much better position to demand that the government do the same. Education is the key. Knowing that this issue exists, knowing how to correct it, you have to start with yourself. And then hopefully your influence spreads within your sphere of influence. You influence your brother, your sister, your mom and dad. I mean, how many times did you guys say to me, I taught my sister how to do this during financial literacy, or I taught my parents about taxes. Like, you guys take care and you go teach other people. That's the idea. You know, how do we fix this problem? We have to know what's wrong and how to fix it, and hold those accountable for who are in charge of fixing it. We have to demand that the government be fiscally responsible. We would like to do everything. We know we can't. You guys know there's no such thing as a free lunch. You know that opportunity cost and scarcity exist. And we're just letting people get away with it, including our own households. So I think this is I think it's a lot of information. I think it's a really cool website that you can, spend time looking at. So if you didn't write it down, it's just usdebtclock.org. I think this information is really scary, but it's a reality check. If you looked at this every day, you looked at your budget every day, it makes a difference about your mindset, because I want this, but do I need this? I want this, do I need this? Everything in life is about opportunity cost. We need to be better decision makers.
Opportunity.
So do you guys have any questions about this? I just want